Center in Denver, Colorado. It's game one of the Western Conference quarterfinals between the Dallas Stars and the Colorado Avalanche. Hi, everybody. It's with great pleasure we welcome you to the Stanley Cup playoffs on ESPN2. With Darren Pang, I'm Steve Levy. The last time we saw the Avalanche in the postseason, Game 7, here on home ice, losing to Minnesota in Patrick Roy's final game. David Abisher, it's all yours.
3 years as the backup to Patrick Roy. He learned an awful lot, and I think he exceeded expectation during the course of the year. He won over 30 games. He kept them in games when they had no right being there, but there's a lot of pressure on home ice for game number one. And keep in mind, the Dallas Stars have a plethora of great players, including Mike Modano, who had a subpar regular season, but on any given night, he can score 3 goals. So certainly Abisher will have his hands full with the likes of Mike Modano.
Mike Modano really comes off the worst regular season of his career, so he has something to prove. And then there's his goaltender, Marty Turco, who comes off a brilliant regular season. The question is, can he keep it up? And can he stop Joe Sakic in the ad?
You with a playoff beard.
Just about ready to go in Denver, and the Avalanche take the ice.
Here are the starters tonight for the Avalanche. Starting at left wing, number 38, Matthew Marley.
They do have an opponent. The Dallas Stars are taking to the ice shortly as well. Since January 16th, only the Tampa Bay Lightning have been better than the Stars. Then they're the Avalanche. They really struggled going into the playoffs. There was some cause for concern, but they sound rather optimistic now.
Unbelievable that they have only 8 wins in the last 25 games, but Joe Sakic is always the stabilizing force on this hockey club. On his right side is going to be Timo Solani, and that's going to be a key fixture as well. They'll go up against Marty Turco. He has great presence in the net. He's a great puck handler, and he will really alter the forecheck of the Colorado Avalanche. They're going to have to get to him early.
This is a series that no one would be surprised if it was for the Western Conference Finals. So look at it as an early Stanley Cup playoff bonus. You're going to see the Stars and more Stars in the first round. We've got power forwards galore like Peter Forsberg and Bill Guerin. Dare I say, ready to rock and roll for the Stanley Cup playoffs. Like the teams, the referees have pared down as well. From 35 to 22, Stephen Walcom and Dean Warren will work it. Mark Perret and Ray Scapanello will handle the lines. The capacity crowd continues to file in. 431st consecutive home sellout for the Colorado Avalanche. Chris Gratton and Mike Modano on the opening faceoff, and we're underway from Denver, Colorado. The Dallas Stars in the visiting white, and the Avalanche in the home dark sweaters. And the fans are into this right away. Philippe Boucher looking to move it ahead along with Sergei Zubov. Up to Mike Modano. Modano off his back foot. Shot was blocked. Lettinen lets it go and missed it on the far side. It's brought back out to center ice by Modano, and the Stars will look to regroup.
Is it like the thoroughbred was just unleashed there? I mean, oh my goodness, Mike Modano right off the hop here, just flying, and let that one rip to the stick side and just went wide on Abisher.
Back for it, Matt Tkachuk. He's forechecked by Solani. We've got our first helmet popper of the series as Lettinen had his lid removed. And it's cleared down softly into the Colorado end. Pushed ahead here, Sakic off for Solani, rolled off his stick. And now the Stars with Bill Guerin trying to do something one-on-one. Working on Ossi Vannanen. Loose puck to the corner, Jason Arnott. Rob Blake will get to it. Bumped by Guerin. Peter Forsberg will pick up the loose change. Tried to get it ahead for Connor Walchuk and could not.
Steve, a minor change here for Dave Tickett's Dallas Stars. He's got, to start the game anyway, Brendan Morrow with Modano and Lettinen, and Bure with Arnott and Guerin. Those guys, maybe they'll be flip-flop, but he's got obviously a different look here on the road for game one.
Forsen and Foot both went down behind the play. Ball to center for Tanguay. Broken up. Here's Pierre Turgeon for Dallas. Finds Stu Barnes streaking in center with a step. Barnes lets it go. Shot is blocked by Bob Bugner. Loose puck to Dallas now. That shot skips through traffic. Seems like Dallas has taken at least 5 shots. None on goal. 2-on-1 the other way. They got it across. Shot just missed.
Whoa! How did he miss that one?
Nicolishin was the passer, got it across, and Turco did not have to make a save off a 2-on-1. That comes 2 minutes in.
I was expecting the red light on, or it was in his glove. Didn't think it was going to go wide. Hayduk has struggled down the stretch. Maybe a little lack of confidence there for last year's Rocket Richard Trophy winner with 50 goals.
Here's DeMaio with some jump. Good back check there by Marek Svatos. Stars get to it, and they'll shoot in. There's David Abisher wrapping around the boards, turns it right over to Nico Kapanen. Off for DeMaio. Kapanen towards the front of the net. Play is broken up. Ott is there. Kapanen off the skate of Nicolishin. Ott lets it go. There's the first shot on goal. Loose puck is just shot wide, but Abisher's in the hockey game. Chris Therien is in the hockey game as well, with John Clem being a scratch from Dallas. Was able to keep it in momentarily. We're 3 minutes into the series and yet to get a whistle.
Man, this is some frantic pace here.
Turco was stick checked back behind the net. And some good energy there by Chris Gratton. And that might be some of the Colorado strategy. Trying to get under the skin of Marty Turco as icing is called.
Well, odd man breaks a key in any playoff series. Nicolishin passed the puck over to Hayduk. It's a perfect play. And he just missed going high to the glove side. From this angle, you see the defenseman played it as well as he could. And it just looked like there was not very much assertiveness on behalf of Milan Hayduk. Keep in mind, this is a guy that goes high and hard all the time, and he likes to go high to the glove side with Turco scrambling and Zubov pinching in the offensive zone.
Good face-off win. Foot could not contain on the rolling puck. Hayduk's the guy you want shooting off a 2-on-1. 35 goals this season to lead Colorado, and that includes the fact he didn't score any in the final 13 games. Won the Rocket Richard Trophy, scored the 50 goals on the final day of last season. Modano is back for it, able to move it across. Chris Gratton's been throwing his weight around, one of the many late-season pickups by Pierre Lacroix in the Avs. Here's Bill Guerin across the line. Guerin, the Dallas top scorer, tried the nifty pass to center on the backhand, but it was swept away by Straston. Don Sweeney able to get it ahead to Guerin, trying to catch the Avs on the change. Arnott will pick it up. He's checked. Blake back behind the net. Stolen away by Valeri Bure.
That took a funny bounce on the boards, too. It caught Blake off guard, because instead of being on his stick, it went into his feet.
Arnott high off the glass and out to center. Here's Guerin now. Hits the brakes, looks for some help. Bure was thumped by Rob Blake.
That's a guy you want to avoid. In a long series, he can eliminate some people with his great physical play.
Here's Turco playing it around, one of his strengths, although not there. Wow, Sakic just leaned into Matvichuk, and Matvichuk got the worst of that exchange. Stars will get to it, flip it out to center ice.
The one matchup that Tony Granato likes so far is Chris Gratton, who wears number 24 for Colorado, up against Mike Modano.
Zubov will settle things down for Dallas. Swings it across for Philippe Boucher. He's met by Hayduk as he got it in. A little transition game. The Avs will go, oh, big hit at center ice. Brendan Morrow just put Tanguay down in a big way.
Oh, what a hit, and a clean hit, too. It looked like from here.
Here's Morrow, the hitter. Now the passer, the drop for Lettinen. Sounded like it went off the mask of Avalanche.
Oh, Alex Tanguay already already missed 11 games because of the sprained knee. And these are the timing things that you miss not being in the day-to-day situation. And he's struggling. Oh, boy. Is he ever struggling? Left side of your screen, right in the center. That's a good clean hit, too, by Morrow. That's the aspect of Brendan Morrow. Besides the fact he's been a good offensive player, he's a tenacious, physical player that goes through bodies. That is not great news there from the Colorado bench.
Face off to the left of David Abisher. Barnes and Nicolishin on the draw. Nicolishin was the 4th best face-off man in the NHL in the regular season, so of course he gets tossed out of the circle. He's replaced, they lose the face-off, and Turgeon sent one softly to the net. Here's Nicolishin now, out of center, he's 1-on-3, he'll shoot to the corner, and look for some help from the corner, Hall. Turco got it away. Here's a great example of what Marty can do for you.
It's his skating ability that impresses me most. Yeah, he can shoot and he can read the play, but he can skate as well as any D out there.
Turgeon knocked it down without a house stick. Loose puck in front. And Hall gets to it for Colorado. And it's flipped out to center.
And John Michael Lyles didn't like that. Boy, he had a great rookie year in the NHL.
Turgeon and across the line. Let it go. Right pad save Abisher. Big juicy rebound. And Turgeon's going to get to it. Centered off of Abisher and right to his defense.
So far, 2 shots by left-hand shots. One by Madonna to the stick side and one by Turgeon.
Cross ice. Here's Blake. Winds it. Fires over the tip. Saving in. On the rebound. Colorado scores first. It's Peter Forsberg.
He's a difference maker, and he rises to the occasion even when he doesn't play a lot. Only 39 games this year. The hard blast from Blake, lack of coverage down low, and not only does Turco make the first save, but from our Southwest Airlines goal cam, Peter Forsberg is uncontested on the rebound, all alone in front. And even Alex Tanguay, oh boy, is he hurting. But the rest of the bench, they get to their feet, and this place is jamming.
The face-off, Stars get to it. There's the all-important first goal. You could make the argument that on home ice, the first goal is more important for the home team like Colorado, especially the way they have played coming into the postseason. Not well. This puck out to center ice. Turco got the first one, didn't get the second one. And because of it, Colorado has the 1-0 lead. Colorado, here's a chance. Shot, big shot, save Turco! And the rebound goes wide. Vananen let it fly. And almost an identical rebound situation, except the rebound this time was hammered wide.
Funny, Dallas was talking about putting pucks on net on Abisher, thinking he gives up juicy rebounds. Colorado's doing the same. What a pace early on.
Peter Forsberg is on the board. Assist to Blake Svatos. 1-0 adds. Back in Denver, Colorado, both Dallas and Colorado have lost game 1 in each of their last 3 playoff series. Of course, we all know how important game 1 of any series can be. The Avalanche found themselves down and out in overtime in a 7-game series on home ice with Patrick Roy in goal, and lost to the upstart Wild a season ago. What a difference a season makes. Minnesota and Anaheim aren't even in the playoffs.
That's the parity in the National Hockey League. It's tough making the playoffs. Very difficult. For people out there that don't know the game and think that it's an easy ride, they're sadly mistaken. We got teams that are nearly 10 games over 500 that don't even make the playoffs.
And for those who say, hey, the regular season doesn't count for that much, I'll tell you what, Dallas and Colorado, they would each like to have won their division to avoid being in this 4-5 matchup. Think about it. Ottawa, Toronto in the East, this one in the West. 2 very, very good, expensive hockey teams are going home after the first round.
And they're built to win. And that's why when Patrick Roy retired at the end of last year, pressure was on his 3-year apprentice, the Swiss-born David Abisher. The first goalie besides Roy to start a playoff game for the franchise since '95. That, of course, was the Chicago Blackhawks' Jocelyn Thibault. David Abisher responded every time there was pressure. Think of the night that they retired Patrick Roy's jersey, the big ceremony, the greatest goalie of all time. What does he do? He wins 4-2 against Calgary and was the first star in the game. I mean, so I think that says an awful lot about David Abisher's calmness and mentality when the pressure's on.
I know you played in one of those kind of atmospheres.
I did.
Those kind of nights, and you didn't fare as well as Abisher did.
Tony Esposito and Glenn Hall's jersey retired. I gave up 7 goals to Vancouver. Wasn't good.
Difficult spot for any goaltender. We saw Mike Dunham get lit up on March 5th tonight in New York as icing is called to bring it back down to the Colorado end. Well, tomorrow night, the Stanley Cup playoffs continue on ESPN at 10 Eastern. The St. Louis Blues will open up their series in San Jose against the Sharks. The Blues, the 7th seed. The Sharks, the 2 seed. The Stanley Cup playoffs presented by Nextel on ESPN. Note that start time, 10 Eastern, 7 Pacific on ESPN.
Chris Osgood's got the most amount of playoffs experience in the Western Conference with over 80 games played. He's got 2 Stanley Cup rings with the Detroit Red Wings as well. That'll be a great matchup. Nabokov's been unbelievable for San Jose. That's a good hockey club.
I think I read that Osgood is the only Western Conference goalie with a winning record in playoff matches. The Turcos 500. Lyle's out at center. They'll swing it across. Bugner. Cross ice pass is a beauty for Tanguay. Trying to feather it in, and it goes in. Off Teppo Newman in and in. 2-0 Colorado.
Well, for Alex Tanguay and the big hit he took moments ago against Brendan Morrow, oh boy, what retribution this is. Scoring a goal, he banks it off of Newman, and Newman is just trying to play the odd man break, and it inadvertently goes off his bottom skate. No chance for the goalie, Turco. You're sliding to your left, you're expecting a pass over to Forsberg, and it ends up going between your legs. It's a lucky break for the Colorado Avalanche, and a really unlucky one for Marty Turco and the Stars.
Could not have started any better for the Colorado Avalanche. The Avalanche really struggled. Just 8 wins in their last 25 games. The worst record over the last 25 for any of the 16 teams to make the playoffs. It is a second season, a new season, and they have a 2-0 lead.
He is still hurting, Alex Tanguay is. He's improved his skating over the years. He's become a major player. Crossed over here, the knee doesn't seem to be bothering, which is great news. And he's trying to make a hard pass over to Forsberg, and he'll take that one. Here's the hit moments ago that we were talking about. Great work down on the truck, guys, going back to that, because that is a major part of it. He was wincing on the bench in a great deal of pain. And keep in mind, Tanguay has had some head injuries before. He wears the concussion-style helmet to prevent himself from that, and that was a major league hit by Morrow.
Tanguay with Lyles and Bob Kuzma at 8:37. Forsberg's goal, the Avs have a 2-0 lead. Dallas registered the first 4 shots on goal over the first 5 minutes, and since then the Avs 2 goals on 4 shots in the last 4 minutes and have taken this baby over. There's Konowalchuk off the boards for Sakic, 1-on-3, and Dallas looks to break it back with Stu Barnes. Barnes out ahead. Off of Turgeon. Centered. Barnes tried to cock it and fire and couldn't get the shot away.
Nice defensive play by Chris Gratton and following Barnes as well.
Put the big check back behind the net. Draws the roar from the crowd. Here's Turgeon. Gets a pick from Corson now. What are you going to do with it? Turgeon nearly put it off the skate. A foot in. Gratton from behind his net will fire out to center. And the Stars will jump back to recover. Cross ice for Guerin, hopped on him. Terrien got it ahead. That shot is gloved easily by David Abisher.
David Abisher, with all the pressure on him, made a couple of big saves early, and he's got himself a 2-0 lead.
Much gray on our 2 head coaches, only in their second year, respectively.
Yeah, you betcha. And for Dave Tippett, they've not scored more than 2 goals in the last 9 games in Colorado. For Tony Granato, a lot of pressure on Tony Granato. Being inexperienced last year, going up against Jacques Lemaire, having a 3-1 lead and letting that relinquish. And that has been a bad habit-forming thing for the Colorado Avalanche. It's happened in the last, since 1998, it's happened a number of different times. So that's one thing that they want to get a lead here, put the dagger in, and go forward.
Guerin came in to win that face-off and win it clean. Bure tried to squeeze through and could not. Guerin got it back for Arnott now. Loose puck to Rob Blake. Make no doubt about it, that is a major story coming into this series. The job status of Tony Granato, written about in all the papers locally, talked about on all the talk shows as well. After what happened last season, you pointed out, after a difficult regular season, especially on home ice and down the stretch, Granato's job is very much in doubt heading into this playoff series. Here's Haydu, little tipsy-do, and trying to let it go off of Boucher. But unlike the one that went off Teppan, this one deflected to the corner. Haydu picks up the loose change, back behind the net. Here's Forsberg now. To the front, trying the tricky pass to Tenge, and it was broken up. This is game one of the Western Conference quarterfinal series, and you could make the argument this is the best series and one of the best first rounds we've ever seen in Stanley Cup playoff history, the Stars and the Avs.
And for the Avs, too, look at this. This is a real remarkable number here. You talk about the lack of momentum going into the playoffs. Only 3 wins in their last 15 home games and outscored by 12. And those are numbers that you don't like going in. You're hoping to go in and have the momentum. And they were 2-3-0 in their last 5, 2-7-1 in their last 10.
It's so funny how you can justify it, though, each way in your own mind. If you're Colorado, you're saying, hey, regular season doesn't mean anything. The second season. If you're Dallas, you're saying, hey, we've been great down the stretch. We're going to keep the momentum going. So you can make it work for you, very much like statistics. Any way you look at it. Here's Foote, was tied up momentarily. Heinold got a piece, but kind of nonchalanted it, and that allowed Dallas to get it momentarily.
And Dallas is still staying with Morrow on the Modano line. Keep in mind, Modano had an unbelievable first shift, but it has slowed down. Their momentum has slowed down considerably. They got to start working the transition game and getting him the puck when he's got speed.
What a pass by Zubov. Tape to tape. It doesn't amount to much, but still fun to watch and pretty to look at. 2-on-2 in front of that Dallas bench with the Stars blue line. And it's whistled down offside. Tomorrow, the top teams in Division I hockey meet in the NCAA Frozen Four at the Free Center in Boston. ESPN2 has semifinal action at noon Eastern as Denver takes on Minnesota Duluth. Dave meets Boston College at 6 Eastern. The two winners moving on to Saturday's championship game. Obviously, in this area, they're all fired up about college hockey.
Yeah.
And the NHL.
Good luck to my cousin, Troy Barnes. And my first cousin went to my hockey school when he was 14 and 15.
Taught him everything.
He's number 6 for Maine. He's a defenseman.
Oh, yeah. Not a goalie.
No, not a goalie. No.
That should be Frozen Four. Always outstanding hockey. Two-line pass. How about the 3 days in Boston? A couple of Brew and Montreal playoff games. And then you get a little Frozen Four action.
You gotcha. Well, early on in this hockey game, Steve, Colorado took advantage of this play here. See Zubov? He got caught on the left side. Nick Galushin makes the pass, and Haydu missed an open net. And you thought from that point on, you thought, oh boy. You know, the Colorado Avalanche lacking confidence down the stretch, 2-7-1 in their last 10. And Zubov pinching, not a good start there. But then from that moment on, Colorado, and a good save there, easy one by Marty Turco. And Colorado has taken over kind of the pace of it, kind of slowed things down, trying to get their home ice matchups. And in 2 career Game 1 starts, Marty Turco has got a remarkable minuscule goals against average and a wonderful save percentage, but the numbers are 0-2.
Hanger, take me inside Turco's head. You can't blame him on either goal, but the second one is clearly a fluke. He's a confident guy.
Yep.
What's going through his mind right now?
He's saying, I'm going to battle through this. You know what? Forget about the technical part of it. Forget about the bad break. Battle through it, make 1 save at a time, and start building on 10 saves at a time, and then go forward from there. Give your team a chance to get back in this hockey game.
Loose puck. Bratton, who's been one of the more effective Colorado players on the ice, taken down, as was Modano, rolls in on Turco, and he'll hang on. We have yet to have a penalty called in the game. Haven't had many whistles at all. 7:19 left in the first.
Well, if you're looking for some even strength matchups so far, and it's a big part of a 7-game series, it's the guys that you trust defensively. Who do you have to go up against Mike Modano? Well, right now, Tony Granato has got primarily Chris Gratton going 6 for 6 at even strength. Whenever Mike Modano's on the ice, Tony Granato is thrown Chris Gratton to go over against this world-class skater in Mike Modano.
Gratton, just the second youngest player in NHL history to get to 800 games. Ryan Bellows beat him by 39 days, but Gratton's been around a long time and played a lot of different roles, and now in sort of a defensive checking mode. Here's Forsberg back for it. And the Avs will take their sweet time winding up. Got some speed at center. Hayduk for Tanguay. Trying to get it back. Loose puck, Forsberg, and it was stopped. I believe Turco got a stick on it as it's cleared down the ice. Icing is called.
Jason Arnott is the centerman going up against Peter Forsberg, and the Avalanche like that. Arnott's going to have to work harder at staying with his man. When you've got Peter Forsberg as the guy against you, you've got to watch him at all times. And Forsberg is able to sneak in late on the left side of our screen. Really late right there, and he gets a great opportunity. I mean, all he wants is to put that one up, and I think Turco got the blocker or the arm on that as Turco was leaning forward and had the belly of his belly pad right on the ice.
Back to the point. Strangford, let it go. He's pucked over Colorado. Connor Walchuk with a spin move. Working on Don Sweeney now. And Madonna. 2-on-2 back to the Dallas net. Strasky's pitching in on Lesnin. That allows Colorado to maintain possession. Teemu Selanne. His nightmare season. Hoping to change it up in the postseason.
Madonna's without a stick right now in the defensive zone. This is big.
Might as well be down a man. Sakic spinning in the corner. Loose puck to Dallas. Wonder if they recognize Madonna's without a twig. They just clear. Can't get it deep though. Walchuk
Too many men on the ice.
We'll be right back.
Finds a symbol of freedom.
2 minutes for too many men on the ice.
We are back, and not just back, we're back with the first power play of the game. The Stars were hit, as Tanger correctly pointed out on our way to break. Too many men on the ice in 14:06. Give the Avs an opportunity to get a 3-0 lead in this first period. Hayduk for Forsberg. Shot from Lyles. Big left pad saved by Turco, and quite frankly, they're all big right now when you're already down 2-0. Barnes and Morrow, the forwards for Dallas, will try to kill it off for the time being. And now they'll get a change. Lyles and Blake will man the points on his Colorado power play. Connor Walchuk, Sakic, and Selanne. Got it through. Here's Blake. Shot saved by Turco. And a penalty coming up. And Turco's forced to make another save on the delayed penalty. Wow.
Matt Tkachuk's going to go off, trying to protect his territory in front of the net. And Teemu Selanne is paying the price in front of the net. Good transition by Colorado to gain the zone. A nifty little pass by Selanne to Blake. Blake's shot was extremely hard and hard to handle. As Matt Tkachuk goes off, it's a 5-on-3 right now per minute. Blake's shot hard. Rebound there. And on the left side of your screen, the battle had begun. Matt Tkachuk drilled him.
Can you say 5-on-3?
Look at Colorado is too late getting the face-off circle, Steve, and the linesman did the right thing. There's a time limit there. They were late getting their change, so he dropped the puck. An easy face-off win for Dallas, and they're able to clear the zone.
There are the shots lately. Matt Tkachuk the hold at 15:06. 5-on-3. Here's Sakic. Shot stopped by Turco, and there is no rebound. 37 left in the 5-on-3.
Well, it all started with the too many men on the ice. When Madonna was going off, Turgeon stepped off and played the puck. A vital error right there. So that means Dave Tippin's squad has immense pressure on them inside their own zone. Zubov trying to lift the stick of Tanguay, giving him a nudge. And then that shot went underneath the pad of the butterfly goaltender Turco. His stick wasn't on the ice, so he obviously knows that those pads are going to lay flat.
Can you have a turning point in a series so early? What's going on there, Panger?
I think he's calling a timeout. And they were trying to get the attention of the referee, and he was slow reacting. I think.
Avalanche.
Wow, how about that? Unless he made him use the timeout. Unless he forced him into it because they were taking their time.
Well, I can't see that would happen, because before that, Dave Tippin's Mike Madonna was able to get the easy face-off because Colorado was so slow getting out on the ice. But I don't think the referee would say, I don't know if they'd give him that option.
Well, we'll try to get clarification on that.
Yeah, lack of communication. Guys thought they're trying to, Sakic's trying to talk to the bench. The referee's looking at the bench, Stephen Walcom. And obviously the bench was yelling like crazy. So now they have an opportunity here, a key opportunity to make a 3-0 game.
We'll see in an hour and a half and wonder if that Colorado timeout is needed late in the game. 30 seconds left with 2-man now. Sakic holding, gets the pass off. Forsberg behind the net. Trying to get it through the Haiti. Knocked out of midair. There's Forsberg out of the corner. Shot! Whoa! Stop by Marty Turco. He just robbed Alex Tanguay, was nearly behind him.
Oh, what a save. Tanguay got pretty good wood on it, it looked like, after a perfect setup from down low. Keep your eye on the left glove of Turco, lean in there. Got it right in the webbing. Oh, it's dramatic, it's acrobatic, and it's a momentum saver.
Here's Blake, 12 seconds left in a 5-on-3. Blake lost it to Modano. And he and Kine lost it back to Blake.
Modano's body was going faster than his hands. He couldn't keep up with the puck.
At center, one of the penalties over now. Bure was serving the original penalty for too many men on the ice. Matt Tkachuk remains for 54 seconds.
Well, big players have been big players so far for Colorado. And in response to that, Marty Turco saying, jump on my back, boys. We're going to change the momentum of this hockey game. That goes 3-0. There's an issue. Well, there's a lot of hockey to go, but a 3-0 lead is one in which you can really play a disciplined game, take away the neutral zone, and shut down the offensive player.
What a move and a save by Marty Turco. Spatos just broke in. 7 shots on the power play so far. A power play that has 35 seconds left in it. This could be a huge boost to Turco's save. And if Dallas will be able to kill off the 2-man disadvantage. Here's Solani. Walked down the big way by Touche. Walchuk behind him. Touche on him. Lettinen got enough to wrap it around. Kept it at the point by foot. For Solani. 9 seconds left in the power play. Solani. Shot down low. Spatos for Solani. To the point. And it hops off foot. So he tried to chop it down. Forward. As the penalty is now over. Back to 5 aside.
Yeah, Solani put him in a bad spot, really, because he doesn't want to hang on to the line in case it bounces over his stick. And then they've got an odd man break going the other way. A big part of this first period, in case you're just joining us, is Alex Tanguay. I mean, he got smoked early on with this big hit from Brendan Morrow. And that might have shaken up Morrow as well. That was a huge hit. Then he comes back, he's wincing on the bench, and he scores the goal to make it 2-0. John Michael Lyles and Bobby Bugner got the assist on that second goal of the game. The first one went to Forsberg from Blake and Savato.
Here's Newman in. Centered for Guerin. Partially fanned, might have been blocked by Bugner. Back to the point. Held in by Newman. A nice play looking for Arnott now. Kept in by Arnott. Bure, wrist shot, blasts off the glass. And Bugner looks to sweep it around. Here's Arnott now. Guerin adjusts Bugner's helmet. Second helmet lost in this first period. Bure overskated without getting a shot away. Cross-ice pass for Gratton. Therrien again sweeping his stick, able to knock it free. Turco turns it right over to Vananen. Vananen came over with Gratton. Gets it to Nicolishin coming late. Nicolishin, side of the net. Has some help from Barnaby. Spatos got the shot away. Good pressure here.
You have to be impressed with Colorado, don't you? They've got the jump here.
Spatos checked by Arnott. And the puck to Vananen at center. Nicolishin shoots it softly into the Dallas end.
One of the big differences I found in this game is that Colorado is closing the gap a lot better, blocking more shots in the middle of the ice in front of their goaltender, Abisher. Dallas's defense and their 5-man unit is too spread apart. And the D, I don't think, are holding the line, their own blue line. They're giving Colorado way too much room to make a play inside the offensive zone.
Final 65 seconds, period number 1, 2-0 Avs on home ice. Back to the pool.
1 minute remaining in the period.
Shooting on goal. Instead it's knocked down by Hedo. This puck, Bob on it. Barnes tipped it out to center. Check out the scoring chances. You wouldn't be surprised it's 2-0. You wouldn't be surprised it's only 2-0. Don Sweeney lost his edge, just blew a tire dangerously in front of his own net. Would have been in big trouble if an Avalanche player was close. Solani gets there. Icing call. We are 33.3 seconds away from our Dodge Intermission report. John and Ray are standing by. Another half day for Melrose, I guess. The Dodge Intermission report, highlights of that Red Wings rally, a great debut. I think Andrew Raycroft might be the subject matter there. Absolutely. And a little All-Star Hall of Fame baseball. Roger Clemens and Barry Bonds all coming up on the Dodge Intermission report.
So the good news for Colorado is Tanguay comes back to the lineup. The bad news is Paul Correa will remain out indefinitely with that turned over ankle in the final 2 minutes of the last regular season game.
Loose puck behind the net. Dallas gets to it. Kept in by Vanderman, who's had an impressive game. Shot in front, maybe off a skate of Hall, but Turco doesn't care. He had to make the save anyway.
Nice response by the veteran Steve Konowalchuk. Remember, midway through the year, he was traded for Bates Battaglia. A wonderful trade here by Pierre Lacroix. See, we went over to right away in front of the net. Brendan Morrow made sure physically, went right to him. Obviously, Morrow was the one guy physically. He was the guy that hit Tanguay. So right here, the puck's loose. Turco makes the save, covers it up. But Konowalchuk was right there.
Strastic off the clean face-off wing. Shoots puck behind the net. There's Turco.
Oh, there's an injury over there.
Forsberg went down.
Sure did. Got hit by Mike Modano pretty hard. He looked like he was a little awkward facing the boards.
Horn sounds ending the period, and players come together.
Yeah, Grattan went right over to Modano, taking exception to that hit on his teammate Peter Forsberg.
That'll do it. One period is complete in Game 1 of this Western Conference quarterfinal series. Forsberg and Tanguay have the goal. Colorado has a 2-0 lead. John and Ray in the Dodge Intermission report right after this.
Brought to you by Miller. There's good enough and there's better than it has to be. Miller, good call. Dodge, the official road team of the NHL. Grab life by the horns. Dodge. And 7-Up in your local 7-Up bottler. Make 7-Up yours.
Back at the Pepsi Center, Denver, Colorado. Game 1 just about set for the start of second period action. The Avs leading the Stars 2-0. Steve Levy alongside Darren Pang. Dallas had all the momentum coming into the playoffs. Colorado now has all the momentum in the playoffs.
It can change in a hurry, though, can't it? I mean, you would assume that Dallas is going to have a little more urgency putting pucks on net. They had 13 players that did not have a shot on goal in the first period. Meanwhile, for the Colorado Avalanche, they had 6 players that had 2 shots. So, I mean, there's a big difference there in terms of getting to the net and paying the price. And some of the big guys on the Dallas Stars continue their road woes in Game 1 here.
Keep in mind, Colorado also had a 60-second 5-on-3, which they squandered, and in the process, cost them their lone timeout in the hockey game. Forsberg rifles one. It was blocked. Back to the point. That shot through traffic as Forsberg was taken down. Bure got it ahead. Here's Bill Guerin. He's 1-on-2. Guerin the shift, and the shot went wide. That long shot through traffic. Matvichuk. Here's Forsberg. Race for the puck. Forsberg's going to lose it. Poked away though by Hedo. He's checked immediately by Boucher, and the crowd wanting a penalty call, and they're going to get one.
Is that a retaliatory penalty? Dave Tippett's looking around. The bench is looking around. And it looks like it's defenseman Philippe Boucher that's going to go off. Boy, this time of year you got to really suck it up and look the other way. And it eluded my vision. I was watching the puck and I was watching the line change actually at Colorado. So it was late behind the play. was marginal based on Philly Boucher's response.
Face-off won by Dallas, but puck possession is to Colorado now.
2 minutes for one thing.
Good battle in front of the net ongoing between Zubov and Konowalchuk. Here's Sakic, side of the net, trying to go backdoor to the perfect play to Spatos, and it never got across.
That Spatos is very quick. He's got tremendous hands, and that's why he's on the power play. Good save there by Abishir.
Barnes let it go, shorthanded.
Let's go back to the penalty that was taken then. We got a closer look at it here towards the Avalanche bench. And defenseman Philly Boucher, good boy, does he ever come up high? That's an easy call for the official. Meanwhile, Joe Sakic has a chance to shoot it here, but he's looking past all the way. And what a play by the defenseman Sergei Zubov. Sweeney took his man Spatos, but Zubov had his stick on the ice and eliminated that cross-ice path.
Boucher the rough at 45 seconds, 3 power plays in the game, all of them belonging to Colorado. Here's Blake for Sakic. He'll shoot it around. Hayduk took his man but couldn't get to the puck. Now Sakic, and it's sent softly to the side of the net. Newman will get to it and clear down the length of the ice. John Michael Lyles back for it. A standout rookie defenseman, led all rookie defensemen in scoring in the NHL. Heck, was 6th overall among all rookies in scoring, regardless of position. Rob Blake's in front of the net. Turco shoots the net. Didn't know he had it. He did.
Something.
Wow, was that close? His players come together.
Well, Marty Turco didn't know it prior to this game. He's going to know it quickly. And that's Peter Forsberg behind that net. For last year in the first round series against Minnesota, how good Dwayne Rollison was going post to post. This one here, you have got to battle for those loose pucks. You can't take it for granted that they're not going to be there. You have to hold on to that post and be firm. Marty Turco slid away from it, and then when he slid away, that puck is right here. Oh boy, he was lucky that his instincts told him it was loose. Maybe someone was yelling at him, communicating. But that's a clean opportunity for someone on the Avs to poke that puck behind him.
Another good face-off win by Dallas. They'll kill some more of this Colorado power play. Morrow's first on it. Now Quinn will take it away. And Blake will look to move it ahead. Avs taking their time. Here's Hayduk at center, and he'll spin back. Forsberg will put on the brakes. 23 left of the power play. Turned over to Morrow. He has trouble with it. Barnes comes over to support and clears.
Well, good to see that Peter Forsberg is back. Remember, he went into the boards awkwardly at the end of the first period. And so start the second period, he's got some jump to him.
3 seconds now remaining. Boucher penalty. He's out. Back to 5 aside. Avs are 0 for 3 on the power play, including a 60-second 2-man advantage.
Let's go back to that end of that first period here. So take a look at the far right side of your screen right there. Mike Modano and Peter Forsberg. And Modano and Forsberg just collided with their feet. But what I liked about that was shortly after that, Chris Gratton made a point to Mike Modano. You know what drives me nuts in a 7-game series? You have to dig your heels in. And if you just skate away and pretend it didn't happen, you're not backing up your teammate. And Chris Gratton didn't take a penalty, but he let Mike Modano just know, you know, we're watching, we're keeping our eye on things. And Konowalchuk also did that earlier. So those are little telltale signs to let you know that the guys are on the same page.
Loose puck to Colorado now. Off the side of the net, off of Turco's arm and right in front. Here's Bill Guerin now. Out with Shane Corson and Pierre Turgeon. Adjustment already on the line combinations. Dave Tippett.
Let's stir something up. Got to get these guys that haven't performed on the road. Got to get them going.
Such an interesting matchup. The home and the away. Especially Dallas has been so good at home. Struggled on the road. And Colorado struggled at home. Matvichuk will go back and chase. And icing is called, and Gratton's got a couple of more words for somebody else on the Stars.
It's Boucher, and it's because of the high hit that Boucher had on Milan Hayduk earlier in the period. In the meantime, for Boucher. His goaltender, Turco, has been tested. And I mentioned before that 6 players have 2 or more shots on the Colorado Avalanche in this game. Turco has come up with a couple of real big saves, especially at the end of that first period when he made that great glove save on Alex Tanguay. Could have made it a 3-0 hockey game.
Bratton and Modano on the draw. Modano tied him up. Here's Lettman able to get to it. Shots off the post. That looked like it hit Morrow in front and then ticked off the post.
You're right.
These new contact lenses, Penny.
Odd man.
Drop pass by Barnaby to no one in particular. Scrastic was coming late and couldn't get there. Here's Modano. Nice pass for Lettman. Shot block. Loose puck. Morrow. And he's stopped by Abisher. The players come together. And Modano's right in the middle of everything.
What a great save by Abisher. Beyond the scrum that's in front of him, it doesn't happen without this great save with the left pad. Bratton and Modano is the story early on here in terms of the matchup. Modano's pass right on the mark to Lettman. First one blocked, but that's the save with the left pad. Morrow's paying the price, battling a high note, and Abisher does not only make the save with his left pad, save with no rebound. This guy's been a gamer. 25 goals, career high, 24 helpers, 49 points. It's only going to get better for this young man.
Once again, part of a rare group for the NHL, Brendan Morrow is. 20-plus goals, 100-plus penalty minutes. Aren't too many guys in the league who put up both those kinds of numbers, although teammate Bill Guerin is another one of them. Off the face-off, Bubner will get to it. He's checked by Ott. And Lyle's able to come away. Morrow swings it around. Camping it. Out to center. Bubner will go back and chase. Scoring chances for the game. Better than 2-1 Colorado. The Avs outshot Dallas 15-2 in the final 15 minutes of that first period. Enjoying a 2-0 lead and looking for more with Sakic on it. Sakic for Konowalchuk. Back to Blake. They were a little too tight. It was tough to handle the pass. Far side, there's Vananen. Able to keep it. Zubov. He's checked by Sakic now. Tanguay came over to help out. Here's Sweeney dangerously in front of his own net. And he'll clear. Sweeney will glove it down. Here's Guerin. On the rolling puck, off the inboards, and right to Abisher. Tomorrow night, the Stanley Cup playoffs will continue on ESPN at 10 Eastern, 7 Pacific. Another Western Conference quarterfinal series will open up. The St. Louis Blues and the San Jose Sharks. Note that start time, 10 Eastern, 7 Pacific. The Stanley Cup playoff presented by Nextel on ESPN.
The linesmen are really trying to get these players out on the ice for the face-offs. Both teams are lollygagging a little bit getting out there. That could become vital because the linesmen will just drop the puck, and you could get yourself a great scoring chance if you're sloppy going back to the face-off.
And we saw that in the first period.
Yep.
Just prior to Colorado spending their timeout. Here's Solani, wraparound attempt, saved by Turco. Looked like there was some space there.
So this lineup that Tony Granato put together here with Rico Hall on the left and Nicolishin and Teemu Solani on the right side. Solani trying the wraparound after Rico Hall made a nice fine play to behind the net. Solani backing up, and he's trying to go high over goaltender Marty Turco. Turco held down that near post, and again, Bratton against Mike Modano.
Looking at that replay, there wasn't a lot of space there.
No, there's not much, huh?
Loose puck tied up still in the circle, and finally to Dallas. Morrow looks to move it ahead to Lettman. Have it knocked away from him. Morrow on it again. His pass for Lettman picked off. Strastin leading the charge, the long shot. Turco will play it, and then cool and calm off for his defense.
I really don't know how he does that. Without catching the puck, he takes it off the body and still drops it calmly in front of him and plays it on his knees.
Give and go back behind the end line. It won't amount to much. Foot will go back in, Cheese.
This tandem's been good for Tony Granato. Adam Foote and Straskins, a right-hand shot and a left-hand shot, and that's been a pretty consistent pairing this year.
Touch for icing, bring it back down into the Colorado end. 13-17 left in the second. The Stars trail by a pair.
Tough time on the road for these big, strong, powerful forwards. Billy Guerin on home ice 23, on the road 11. Arnott 17, just 4 on the road. Arnott's going to have to be a big player. I mean, he's got to be a big player. He's going to see the likes of Peter Forsberg, and there's going to be times where he goes up against a guy like Joe Sakic. And at any point, too, it wouldn't hurt him if he gets on the ice with Chris Gratton and make a point to him as well.
Offside, the Dallas Blue Line. Those numbers are a big part of the reason Dallas, the second best home team in hockey, yet only 18th best on the road. Under 500 on the road.
Yeah, I talked to Billy about that throughout his career, and he said, "It's really, if you look at my numbers, it's not that way. You know, sometimes matchups and not getting some breaks, but the fact of the matter is now is when it really counts. You can turn it all around. You have to turn it all around right now."
But Peng, and not to say Guerin is one of them, players do develop reputations over the years being, you know, big, tough, great player at home and shrivel up a little bit on the road.
If you're a good coach, you hide matchups because you got the last change. That one just missed on the stick side. It's harder to hide players or certain situations when you are on the road.
Here's Hayduk, side of the net for Forsberg. Tanguay sneaking around, looking for him. He was picked up nicely. And Forsberg's on it now. Off for Tanguay. Alex Tanguay on the backhand of Forsberg. Forsberg is all over the ice. Gets the return feed from Lyle. Forsberg, backhander, stopped by Turco. Goes to the splits, and no rebound.
That wasn't a power play.
What a shift by Forsberg.
I mean, is there a better team in the league at give and goes and cycling and, I mean, spinning you on a dime and making you dizzy? Colorado is phenomenal. Dallas is running around. Comes one-on-one, you're trying to exchange men, you're trying to communicate, you're trying to rotate, and instead you got a bunch of buzzsaws, a couple of water bugs there, and a great backhand attempt by Peter Forsberg, and a good save by Turco, who's become a main player here in the second period.
Marty Turco seems like he's been around forever. But this is only his second postseason. Only his third playoff series career. Just because he carries himself like such a veteran.
That's for sure.
Turco, cool and calm, will take a look. Off for Valerie Bure off a shin pad. Zubov got a pick from Sweeney. And it's pumped out to center. Blake will go back and chase. Bure on him immediately. Turns it over to Don Sweeney. Sweeney able to cut in. Wrapped around the board. Bure and Strassens going to the glass. Kapanen trying to do something with it. Some good pressure by this Dallas line, but now here's Heinold the other way. Heinold is stepped into by Sweeney, and DeMaio is back, and Heinold's hurt. Could be a need situation. We'll have to look at that at the Dallas blue line.
Yeah. Sweeney jumped in there to take away the blue line, and he was very aggressive at getting at Heinold.
Heinold's had injury problems all season. Concussion, shoulder. It's been a problem for him returning late. And we'll check on him.
And it's all about whether or not the player Sweeney extended his leg or whether his knee was on track already. And if it's on track and in placement, then it's not a penalty. But it looks like Sweeney's also hurt. See, he's in position already. He doesn't move his leg out. He's got his leg already on the railroad tracks. He's just coming out at him. And the best thing for a forward to do in that situation is to take the hit. But when you try to get away from it, you expose yourself, you open up, and that's where your knee takes the brunt of it. But Sweeney's knee took a lot of it as well. We'll have to see how he is, but clearly on that replay, Heinold doesn't look good.
Gratton beats Madonna, Skrastinch will fire, and Turco the save. Carlos Skrastinch plays in 351 consecutive games to close out the regular season. The #1 active Iron Man in the entire NHL. And he lost his helmet for his effort. Back behind the net. Foot will swing it around. Big hit by Matvichuk. Wow. And Spatos looking for a piece of somebody else's payback. Bouncing puck, Matvichuk kept in, only momentarily. Grapple chip it out. The hitting game starting to pick up a little bit.
You can't skate by, guys. If you want to make a mark in a 7-game series, you have to go through, guys.
Morrow went out of his way for a big hit. Might have gotten the brunt of it, and now offside. Colorado line. Start of a playoff series.
You got that right. You got that right. Morrow's had a couple of big hits in this game. He's been banged up all year long, too. You got to give him a great deal of credit. He actually misses on that one. That's why he went off balance. Here's Matvichuk's hit on Svatos. It's a good hit. Clean hit. And Svatos, good thing his lid was done up, because otherwise he would have hit the back of his bare head on the ice. That's a good play, a good read. Tells you that the D are more in tune with the forwards. They're starting to close the gap a little bit and take away some opportunities. Sweeney's hit on high note, and then that hit by Matvichuk, even though it's in the offensive zone, it's a good read.
Svatos missed 78 games. Made his NHL debut October 10th. 2 nights later, injured his shoulder and didn't come back until final couple of games. Had a couple of goals in that last game. His first 2 NHL points. Midway point, the period. End the game. 2-0.
Danny Highnote is back on the bench after taking this hit here from Don Sweeney. He hobbled off, and then in our commercial timeout, he came back out and gave it a little push off. And ooh, there he goes, feeling that right leg, right knee. But he looked over the bench and let them know he was ready for service.
Dan Highnote doesn't see a whole lot of ice time. Played 5 minutes, although played 5 minutes in that first period, but he's one of the real energy, speed players for Colorado. There's Tanguay. Shot stopped by Turco. Took a peek. Covered up. And there's some Gavin at center. Vannon and Guerin. And the nastiness starts to build.
Turco, sometimes it would be important for him to jump on some of these pucks and not keep the play going. Take away some of the tempo. Give his guys a chance to regroup and get some line change going. Now, it also enables Tony Granato to get his matchup that he wants.
Here's Turgeon now. Got it across. Here's Corson. Went through the traffic. Colorado have a chance in Dallas, 3-1. Sweeney trying to pinch and keep in. It's a delayed offside. And the Avs look to move it and wipe out the offside. One touched at center. It's fine. For Corson behind him. Hit by Bugman.
There's a penalty coming up. Power play, Dallas. They've been outchanced 15-5 in this hockey game, so they desperately needed to get their 8.6% road power play percentage on the board. 29th worst in the National Hockey League on the road. Barnaby will go off for a hook. And he'll come right in the middle of the screen here. There he goes. And Barnes, his old teammate in Buffalo, goes down rather easily.
Those two had a pretty good playoff run in '99 in Buffalo against these Dallas Stars. They're still screaming no goal in Buffalo, Pang. It's a little late, I know.
Yeah, Chippewa Streets hasn't shut down since.
Barnaby the hook at 11:22. And this is Dallas' first power play of the game. Foot crunched by Guerin. See if the Stars can get something to go with the man advantage. Dallas has 8 shots on goal. And we're 2 minutes past the midway point of the game. Here's Bure for Modano. Guerin in front. Modano overskated. Riku Hall trying to glove it out of the zone. Zubov rolling. Puck tipped this time and was forced by Skrastich. Carlos Skrastich.
That's a great play. What a terrific read that was. And he used his wheels, and the crowd gives Skrastich a very nice applause here. Great effort.
Game 1, Western Conference quarterfinal series. Forsberg and Tanguay are your goal scorers. About a minute and a half apart in period number 1. No scoring so far here in the second. 2-0 Colorado. David Abisher has faced just 8 Dallas shots. Here's Brendan Morrow. Was hit by Heino. Yeah, Heino's okay. Leaned in with everything he had. Newman able to keep it. Really, Newman into the Dallas bench. Here's Morrow. Able to get it off of Turgeon now. Finds Arnott. Back to the point. Boucher. Towards the net. And a stick save by Avalanche. 22 seconds left in this Dallas power play. The second unit looks a whole lot better than the first.
Yeah, it sure does. Keep it simple. When things aren't going well, get it to the points, go in front of the net, look for tip-ins and rebounds, but somebody's got to pay the price in front.
Here's Turgeon. Arnott's in front of the net. Now there he is, right there! Stop by Avalanche! Loose puck, still loose, kept in. Avalanche's best stop by far right there. And the Stars shoot it around and miss. And it'll clear all the way down, and that'll do it. Barnaby's out of the box. And the crowd roars its approval for Avalanche. Corson comes right back, and it was gobbled up, and the Avs move away. DeMaio running at Forsberg. Here's Corson trying to draw a penalty as he went down.
Yeah, can't do that.
I believe the chants are Abby.
Wow, that's great stuff. And deservedly so for David Abisher. Deservedly so. He won 32 games this year and had an impressive 2.09 goals against average to go along with 4 shutouts. And what he's done is he made some timely saves right here. On the doorstep, Jason Arnott's shot. Puck was loose. It's a scramble, and he's getting good help. Great defensive positioning by the all-world Joe Sakic in front of the net. Blake taking 2 guys as well, and nothing left there. They're able to clear the zone.
Newman in shot. Stopped by Avison. Roll. Tricky play. Right into the crest of Abisher as players come together. Shane Corson involved in a little pregame excitement. Stick around. Matthew Barnaby getting more involved as the game progresses. They actually got involved in the pregame warm-ups. And can't be sure, but our ice level audio apparently picked up that Barnaby used the word quitter when it comes to Shane Corson, and there is some history to that, and we will share it with you at our next whistle. Back behind the net, it's a 2-on-2 now. And it's worked away for Steve Ott. Ott's long shot. Skipped by. Good check thrown in the corner. Solani trying to come away. 2-on-2 as they hit the Dallas line. Now he's puck at center. And it's sent in. DeMaio will finish his check on Solani. Wholesale changes for Colorado. Allows the Stars to get out of his zone easily. Ossie Vanderman on it for the Avs. Got it to the line. Svatos checked his man. And Madonna is back deep in his zone end. And he'll swoop behind his own net. Off of Chris Therien. Therien replacing John Clem in the lineup. Here's Morrow's shot. Stopped. Shove it wide. And a penalty is coming up. Holding to be the call. We mentioned the Barnaby accusations of Corson being a quitter. That was an issue for Shane Corson when he left the Maple Leafs last season.
Well, I think the people that know me the best and the people who have played with me in the past know that I would never quit. I'm not a quitter. I've always faced things head on. Whether it was good times or bad times, I always faced them head on, and I would never quit my teammates. That's one thing I would never do. But at that point, I had no choice.
What people, as he said, were close to and played with him, know he wouldn't quit. He was suffering from severe anxiety or panic attacks. And they were just flat out haunting him. And Corson has been very public, as he was with our associate producer, Jay Altmaier, in explaining just exactly what happened when he left the Maple Leafs. That never sat right with me anyway. Hard to imagine as hard as Shane Corson always played to call him a quitter. And it's not real nice Barnaby going after him.
That's good to show you. Until you're in the locker room and you know a guy real well, maybe you shouldn't make assumptions. I know I was thinking the exact same thing.
And Barnaby trying to stir it up in the pregame skate.
There's a shocker.
Yeah, that would be the first time he's done that. The Blake penalty was for holding at 15-19. Dallas, a couple of power plays. This is their second.
Yeah, 0 for the last 35 on the road.
Morrow trying to skip in. Checked by Arnott. Swung around the boards. Zubov able to keep it. Tip in front and just went wide. Just past the right post to the right of Abisher. Here's Turgeon. He's got a lane to shoot it if he wants. Waits for some traffic. Now lets it go. He put it off the dummies. And Abisher made the save.
He scored a goal like that earlier in the year.
Zubov. Shot blocked. Bodies down in front. Morrow is still standing. He's going to go. The Booker will hook up.
It's going to be an interference call, though, on Morrow. And that's going to nullify the last 30 seconds of the power play. From our Southwest Airlines goal cam, we'll take a look at Brendan Morrow in front of that net. And you got to love his intensity. You got to love his battle. Right of your screen, he comes in, though, and he just bowls over Bobby Bugner. Bugner's got himself in position, and without the puck being anywhere, Brendan Morrow is saying, I'm going to get some real estate of my own, and it's a penalty, and a good call by the official.
Morrow interference, 16:50. We'll play 4-on-4 for 28 seconds.
Dallas penalty, number 10, Brendan Morrow. 2 minutes for interference. Time of the penalty.
It's like an all-star game if these two teams wanted to go 4-on-4.
Yeah. 2 minutes interference.
Barnaby went out of his way to finish his check. And why not? It's the Stanley Cup playoffs. He really rubbed out Boucher in a big way.
The thing that makes Barnaby effective, I know he's a mucker and a stir-upper, but he can skate, so he can get to spots to hit guys.
Penalty is over. And Colorado's got a power play for $1.25. Crowd urging Peter Forsberg on as he winds his way through center and in. Forsberg still has it, now turned it over to Modano, and he'll clear it down the ice. Abisher will get it moving himself. Tanguay waiting for it. Forsberg at his pass block. Blake will swing it back. Now they're onside. Here's Hayduk. Backhands one behind the net. Sweeney looked to slap it around. Kept in by Blake. Here's Tanguay now. Tanguay in the circle. Had a chance to shoot it, elected to drop it off to Forsberg. Tried the old tic-tac-toe to Lyles, who had crept in from the point.
This goes to show you don't have to be a physical D to be on the penalty kill. And Sweeney and Newman manning the PK, what do? Keep their stick on the ice and deflect the pass. They're not worried about the physical part of it. They're just in the right spot.
Here's Zubov trying to get it away from Sakic. And it's worked out to center ice. 20 seconds left on the power play. Sweeney and Newman have been in the league a combined 32 NHL seasons. 16 apiece. Thus the experience you talked to.
Well, it's great seeing Temple Newman on the ice in the playoffs with the heart condition that he had only a couple of weeks ago.
Coming up, Southwest Intermission Report. John and Ray will have scores and highlights, including that Western Canada showdown that is ongoing. Sharp as a razor. Andrew Raycroft had quite a postseason debut tonight in Boston. And a pretty good pitching matchup. Roger Clemens pitching to Barry Bonds. That's coming up, Southwest Intermission Report.
Raycroft made 31 saves. He's the first rookie to get a shutout in his first playoff game since Chris Osgood in 1994.
Amazing, right? I mean, there was gloom and doom all over Boston. Thornton could be out the entire postseason. All right, maybe he'll miss the first round. Definitely the first 2 games at home. And there he is in the starting lineup tonight for Boston.
Amazing. I mean, how about Temple Newman in that? I mean, you think of the heartache that he and his family went through when he was diagnosed with that murmur of the heart.
Missed 5 games with what the doctors called a dilated aorta. And from the first doctor, what he was told was really concerned, really worried. That's why he stopped playing. then got a second, third, fourth, and fifth opinion. And those doctors apparently put his mind at ease that he could continue to play, that he had been playing with it the last 6 years or so. It hadn't been an issue. Now, one day he probably will need surgery, but that day isn't right now. Ratton coming late. Nothing but glass. Madonna with speed at center. Final 18 seconds. Let it go. Stick save. And Madonna was forced on his own rebound. Abisher without a stick grabbed a hold of Madonna. Abisher remains without a stick. Maybe Dallas' best chance. 2 seconds left. Shot stopped by Abisher. Zero's on the clock. What a finish around the Colorado netminder.
Best shift of the game from Mike Madonna, other than his first one of the game. And he put tremendous pressure on the Colorado Avalanche as he had speed through the neutral zone. Bure shot, rebound, Letton, no stick by Abisher, and the crowd gets on their feet here in Denver for their goaltender, David Abisher.
So Dallas comes on with a flurry. They fired the last 9 shots on goal in the hockey game, all belong to the Stars. David Abisher has been up to every one of them. This one really starting to take on a playoff feel. Makes for a rather interesting third period. John and Ray coming. Steve Levy, Darren Pang, back in a sold-out Pepsi Center in Denver. The Avs with the Stars 2-0 as we open up period number 3. And in exactly 2 months from tonight, the Stanley Cup will be awarded. It's the last possible date would be Game 7 of the Stanley Cup Finals on June 7th. I don't think anybody would be surprised if one of these 2 teams we're watching tonight was lifting the cup when it was all over.
Would be a heck of a ride to get there, that's for darn sure.
Shot through traffic, couple of Stars, Morrow and Guerin collide. Zubov, what a play! Oh, evidently not that good a play to stay on side.
Good read by Sergei Zubov, and he just put a puck on David Abisher. And Abisher pushes out from his post to the top of his crease, as well as any young goaltender. The last playoff shutout by a goalie other than Patty Waugh was Patty Waugh's childhood hero, Dan Bouchard, while he was playing for the Quebec Nordiques. Of course, Patrick Waugh grew up in Quebec City.
You would do that to him?
I didn't do that. I didn't ask for that graphic.
19.5 minutes left in the third.
You know I wouldn't do that, being a goaltender that never had a shutout.
And the goaltenders union is fining you as we speak. Stick save, Abisher. You're lucky that didn't go in.
Did they have graphics when I was playing?
I'm not
on
sure.
The television side, I'm not sure, but somebody must have put them in when I was close.
I'm pretty sure Hobby Boolin, Graham, and DiPietro wouldn't want to be talking to you tomorrow in Tampa or the next couple of days. After you made that blatant violation of the Goaltending Association. 60 seconds into the third.
I think the point is it's been a long time since that's happened.
Here's DeMaio at center. In across the line. Here's Boucher coming late, and the glove save. Abisher as we kick it back to John Butchergrass.
Awesome game in British Columbia, Steve. Game 1, Calgary and Vancouver, 2-2. Van on the power play in the second period. Sedin, goal. 3-2 Vancouver, all 5 goals on the power play.
All right, John, thank you. NHL.com for scores, stats, fantasy, and the official store of the NHL, NHL.com. If it's hockey, it's here.
Hey, well, one area that Dallas improved in that second period, their face-off percentage went from 42% after one period, Steve, to 53%. In order to be a puck possession team, you've got to win the draw. And so they battled through that.
Blake back for the touch. Icing is called.
Now, Rob Blake's going to be obviously a big part of this hockey team. And remember when he was healthy, he was a front runner for the Norris Trophies, the best defenseman, with 11 goals and 40 points in his first 54 games and a +13. His last 20, 6 points and a -7 after coming back from that injury.
One of just 10 active defensemen in the NHL to score 500 points, play 900 games. Sakic on it. Arnott gets to it for Dallas. And rolls out to center ice.
He's just a horse of a man back there. and there's no defenseman that hits with his backside harder than Rob Blake.
Guerin was onside. There's a bullet of a wrister. That Abisher blockered away.
The thing about these shots, though, they're from the outside. I mean, at this time of year, any goaltender, you're going to make those kind of saves. The one thing Colorado's doing well is they're clogging up the middle of the ice whenever Dallas has it inside the zone. They'll leave those outside shots forever.
Sweeney trying to start the transition game. And it's shot in by Nicolation. And Turco will leave it there.
Yes, go, go!
Tell you what, Colorado's making some nice line changes on the fly, getting their matchups on home ice.
Here's Modano, fires. Right pad save by Abisher. Modano is still on it. He finished with a strong shift to end the second period. And trying to carry that on here to the third.
So far in this third period, it's been Forsberg going up against Modano instead of Grattan.
Here's Modano for Zubov. Wrist shot. Nearly had Abisher moving. Dallas has registered the last 15 shots in the game.
Wow. Now, like I said before, some of them from the outside, but that's still a momentum gainer.
And it tells you Colorado's not doing anything offensively.
Yeah, and Colorado has got to force Dallas to go 200 feet, because that one's going to be icy. On the play, faceoff will be to the right of Marty Turco, but Mike Modano had some wheels just a-churning. He's played 14.5 minutes of this game so far. That was the long shot there, although it was a hard one. And Abisher gets that right leg on it. As Modano's busted through the neutral zone, beats a check around Peter Forsberg, and then gets a good shot.
Point-a-game player. It's one thing if you're a superstar in the NHL. A point a game isn't that great in the regular season. Come playoff time, goals are that much tougher to get. That's saying something. Shot. Second. Backhand score! 3-0 Colorado.
To the top-end players of Colorado, because Joe Sakic gets it behind the net, wheels around, gets one shot, wheels around again, gets the rebound, and no one pays attention. Turgeon's late, and the centerman there, as they've got a switch going, it looks like, Turgeon tries to collapse down low and isn't able to capitalize. Joe Sakic makes the pay. So Turco's got to make one save, got to battle the guys in front, and then Colorado's getting to the rebound.
Offside of the Colorado blue line. That Sakic first shot, which scored on the rebound, that was the Avs' first shot on goal to the midway point of the second period. We just documented that Dallas had fired 15 consecutive shots on goal. And just like that, the Avs are the 3-0.
See the keeper of the cup in the stands? He's even got the gloves on. Phil Pritchard that carries the Stanley Cup around for the Hall of Fame.
Oh, they were buzzing in Bristol when they had the Stanley Cup in the cafeteria.
Oh, I bet. Greatest trophy in the world.
Crying like babies, these grown men in Bristol. Arnott, checked by Blake. Here's Barnaby behind his net, able to move it around. And that changes the complexion of this one. 3-0 Colorado. Sakic from Solani and Bubner at 3:49. Bob Bubner has himself a 2-point game.
And the defenseman getting points. Blake's got an assist. Bubner's got 2. I mean, keep in mind, they're one of the best teams in the NHL at getting points from their defensemen. But defensively, there's got to be a larger commitment inside their own zone for the Dallas Stars. From the hash marks down, they have not done a very good job in front of their goaltender, Marty Turco.
2 of the 3 goals were pretty similar off rebounds, which Turco didn't get a whole lot of help, and the other was just a fluky goal that went in off of, banked in off Teppo Newman and in behind Turco. 5 minutes in, period number 3, game number 1. Arguably the best first-round matchup of maybe the best first-round Stanley Cup final and Stanley Cup playoff history, considering the 8 matchups that are out there. 6 of the 8 are unbelievable long-time rivalries, including this one. 2-on-2. Here's DeMaio. Little drop pass. He and Kapanen. Miscommunication. Nicolishin. Mariku Hall. Glove save. Turco. Players come together. And Lee step back out and send you to John.
From Vancouver, 3-2. Van, all 5 goals thus far on the power play. This time, equal strength. Here comes the Canucks. Brendan Morrison, perfect pass to Matthias Ohlund, and Vancouver has a 2-goal lead late second.
Defense from offense.
Yeah.
Rather offense from defense.
Yeah, Vancouver's good at that too, jumping in, supporting the play.
Vancouver leads the NHL in goals by defensemen during the regular season. Colorado was second in goals. Face off to the right. Marty Turco. Konowalchuk won it. Sakic tried to help him out. And here's Solani. Got it across. Nice play, Solani, for Blake. Sweeney nearly lost his head.
I think Rob Blake did a great job of double clutching there. You're right. Sweeney was in a vulnerable spot.
Solani backhands it in deeper. DeMaio's got a fistful of Solani's sweater. And Solani will get it back to the blue line of the Avs. Corson will shoot in. Steve Tippett continues to try to mix and match and get some line combinations there. Boucher fired one off the block of Avalanche. Clear cut 2-on-1. Hado with Sakic. Sakic shot. And stopped by Turco. That was a blatant 2-on-1. Sakic, trigger man, got the good hard shot away. Turco is still very much in this game. Wraparound attempt. Stopped by Turco and then off the skate of Sakic. It remains 3-0. Back at a jam-packed Pepsi Center in Denver, Colorado. Appreciate those here with the East Coast staying up late to watch Stanley Cup playoff hockey. Modano got it ahead for Arnott, and here's Garrett. Still plenty of time left as Abisher will cover up on that rolling puck. 13-14 left in the third.
Well, let's go back to the last attempt by Joe Sakic. And one thing to watch for in this 2-on-1 break is the spotlight that's going to go after the save. Look at the spotlight's going to come on. They're going to tell the fans he scored. No, he didn't score. Take the spotlight off.
Get you triggered figure in there.
A good choice, though, by Sakic. The puck was rolling, and if you wait too long to settle it down, you run out of real estate to make a play. So he just let her fly, and Turco made a very good save. Odd man breaks in this game. Colorado's had 4 odd man breaks to 0 for the Dallas Stars.
Sakic was bidding for his second goal of the game. Hey, look at the goal scorers, right? Forsberg, Tanguay, Sakic. The big boys are out, and shot stopped by Abisher. The Stars are coming on a little bit. The Avs superstars are out in force tonight. Tomorrow night, 4 Stars will be on display in San Jose. The Blues and Sharks, game 1 of that series, tomorrow night, 10 Eastern, 7 Pacific. The Stanley Cup playoffs presented by Nextel on ESPN.
David Abisher won the very first game of the year by shutting out the Blackhawks and making 31 saves in the process to begin his first year as a #1 goaltender. Pretty good start.
Here's Turgeon off the faceoff, carried it all by himself to the corner. Here's Vanden. Was shooting around. Sakic first on it. Boucher puts him to the glass. Solani is cut off. Good back check there. Turned over to Konowalchuk. With time. Loses to Turgeon. They will take it away. And here's Morrow standing still. Pass deflected off to Zubov. Turgeon again, can't get it deep. Colorado can't get it out. And Blake will go back and chase. Sweeney coming on, able to make the block and keep it in. Morrow's tied up with Blake. Only now do they separate. Now this will go for icing as Don Sweeney is back.
Well, the last 25 games of the regular season, we told you that Tony Granato's squad had the worst record amongst all playoff teams. Only 8 wins in that time. How's Tony looking right now?
Brilliant, like a brilliant coach. Pushing all the right buttons.
I tell you what, the scrutiny, though, on the coaches and the decisions that are being made. If a veteran coach makes mistakes, you kind of overlook it a little bit. But it's the line changes and the matchups and reading the clock. Those are the important parts of developing as a head coach. One of the greatest coach of all time here, Scotty Bowman, is here in attendance tonight at this game, scouting for the Detroit Red Wings.
It's a tough place to develop a head coach, I would think. Expectations are so high. Here's a chance shot, stopped by Avalanche. In perfect position, off a perfect feed. Kapanen came roaring in and got the shot off.
Oh, Stephen Walker, the referee's telling everybody involved there are no penalties yet. And that's somewhat surprising. Hookner could have gotten one there at the end of the play. His defense team protecting his goaltender. A good quick give and go by Kapanen, and he lets it go, trying to go between the legs of Abashir. I think that's David Abashir's biggest strength. It seems to me like Dallas likes to go there, but when he's on his game, he gives that 5-hole away and gets down quickly, so the puck gets him right in the midsection, and there's no rebound. I think the one area that they haven't gone to is high glove, and I think that's a place where a lot of teams have had success on David Abashir.
Arnott is checked. Guerin took his man down, allows Arnott to get the shot away, and Abashir all of a sudden being tested on a regular basis, and up to the test. Head man for Barnaby, Zubov. Matthew Barnaby, playoff player. Every team needs a handful of guys like Matthew Barnaby. Shot, foot, blocked, and cleared the center.
I was talking to Milan Hajduk today, who's good friends with Martin Ruchinski, both Czech Republic-born players. And Martin called him right away and said, you'll be surprised. Barnaby's a better player than you think he is. They played together in New York.
It's called, and they'll bring it back down into the other end.
Well, here's that play off the faceoff where Stratson's balls, foot's kind of caught in that scrum as well. And where did Billy Guerin try to go? High to the glove side. And good save. Good response there as Jason Arnott looks on in utter frustration as Abashir got that arm up there and made a good save.
Face-off upcoming. Barnes and Nicolishin will do battle in the face-off circle. Draw one by Dallas. Newman in fire the shot. Abashir stayed and then dives ahead to poke it away. We've had incredible swings of momentum in this game. It's all Dallas, then Sakic scores. Now it's all Dallas again. It's still 3-0. Jamayo along the wall. In Forsberg. Loose puck. It's flipped out to center.
Too many men on the ice, Colorado.
It'll be the second too many men on the ice penalty in our hockey game.
And it'll be a power play for the Dallas Stars. Early in the game, this happened, and it went undetected. And I know the Dallas bench was yelling for a penalty. Then after that, the Dallas Stars had too many men on the ice when Madonna was going off and Turgeon jumped in. See, you can exchange players in about a 5-foot buffer, but if the puck comes near you, you cannot be involved in the play. So let the puck go if you can, but it's hard when you jump on the ice because all you want is the puck. Oh, here it comes, and you want to touch it. When you do that, it's too many men on the ice because that player has become involved.
Solani will serve it. Too many men on the ice. 9:57 of the third period. This might be Dallas' chance. This might be Dallas' chance to get back in the hockey game here.
You got that right. Third power play of the game for the Dallas Stars. Obviously, they're 0 for 2.
Madonna and Guerin out there, along with Lettinen, Zubov, and Valerie Burek. Bure has played the point, played some in Florida, and has played some in Dallas. So we get a whistle. Let's see what that whistle was for.
Well, you mentioned before that the big guys have come out to play for Colorado. For Dave Tippett now, he's got to look towards his big guys. You've got to look towards Mike Modano, who passes that puck as hard and as crisp as anybody in the game, so you better have your stick on the ice and be ready. Arnott's got to be a big player in front of that net with Billy Guerin as well. And Morrow's on the ice right now, and he's been the one guy I think that's battled extremely hard for this Dallas Stars team.
What a face-off win that was by Nick Alesian. 4th best during the regular season in face-offs. Able to get possession and move it ahead and kill some valuable penalty time off. Here's Arnott at center. Leaves it there for Turgeon. Turgeon trying to beat Vannon wide and can't. Morrow had his stick chopped out of his hands, and Colorado cleared. Zubov, one touches it for Arnott. He'll drop for Turgeon. Turgeon is checked. Foot does battle in the corner. Leaves for Skrastins. He'll push it up the boards. Philippe Boucher is there. Arnott overskated, got it back. Here's Turgeon again. Trying to get the Avs running around, and a penalty coming up. Turgeon was taken down in the corner, and Dallas is going to get a 5-on-3 for 32 seconds.
There are 20,000 referees here that don't like that call. And I'm sure Tony Granato is one of them. As we get a closer look at the big tough Ontario native, Adam Foote. He's going to come into the play right there, and he's got the forearm up, and it did get him underneath the chin. That arm's just a little bit lower. There's going to be no call, but the arm comes up.
2 minutes for Buffalo.
And it's going to be a timeout here by Dallas. Remember, Tony Granato called a timeout early on in this hockey game, while Colorado had a 5-on-3. That was in the second period.
Colorado had a 60-second two-man advantage. Dallas will have 5-on-3 for 32 seconds. Clearly their best opportunity.
Let's see what kind of formation they come up with. You got to keep in mind, Zubov from the point is reluctant to shoot the puck. So they'll try to work it out that he's got patience and sets up somebody else on a one-time play. Billy Guerin obviously will be in front of that net. And the last time they won a series that started on the road was the 91 Conference Finals. So it's been a while.
They just showed a movie clip in the building to get the crowd roaring from that classic Mystery Alaska. Arguably hockey's all-time best movie up there with Slapshot, probably.
You and Melrose,
or maybe not.
You win in the watermelon?
No.
Nothing.
Not even close. Would have taken a Razzie. And it's just cleared out. 15 seconds left in the 5-on-3. That last penalty was Foote for roughing at 11:25.
Steve, that was key right there because Rob Blake had lost his stick.
Zubov let it go. Stopped by Abisher and aided by the quick whistle. 2 seconds left in a 5-on-3.
Nice save by Abisher. He came out, he read that play well. And he has to battle through some traffic right there. He wasn't passive, he was aggressive and on his toes. A great sign of confidence for the young goaltender. From our Southwest Airlines goal cam, there's the push. Now he's out, and the crowd are on their feet here. Chants of Abby reverberating through this capacity crowd.
David Abisher, this is not his first NHL playoff game. It's his third, but it's his first career start, and he has been impressive.
Big difference between coming in relief in a no-lose situation and being a starter and the main man with the focal points on him. Boy, has he responded well.
2 years ago, played 34 minutes in relief, gave up a goal against the Kings. 3 years ago, played 1 minute of one playoff game. Rifled by Zubov, missed the mark. Here's Bure. He's pressured. Blake back behind his own net. 55 seconds left on the last penalty to Foote. Shots are 22-4 in favor of Dallas over the last 22 minutes. And the only team that has scored over that period is Colorado.
Faceoff will be just inside the zone. And the other thing about Abisher, he replaced Patrick in that 7th game in Detroit when Patrick Waugh got pulled in that 7-0 slugfest. at Joe Louis Arena. And now Abisher's got 30 saves. It's been a comfortable game for David Abisher, I think. I would call this a comfortable game. They allowed shots from the outside. He's made the saves he's had to make. No mistakes for the Swiss-born goaltender.
Newman lets it fly. That's deflected down. Here's Arnott on it now. Back for Newman. Swings it across for Boucher. Here's Newman moving in the middle. Off for Arnott. Goes all the way across. Morrow was checked down by Buchner. Buchner trying to clear. Kanawalchuk helps him out and moves it down the ice.
Yeah, and I tell you what, Colorado wanted a penalty on Pierre Turgeon. He just gave Abisher a slight nudge after he was lost. He was off balance, and Abisher ended up going down.
3 seconds left in the penalty. The foot. He's out of the box, and he'll join the play. Colorado killed it off, and then he scored! Nico Kapanen, after the power play had expired, rolls one through the legs of Abisher. And don't go anywhere. It's a 3-1 game.
An innocent-looking play, to say the least, by Kapanen. I'm not sure if Abisher was screened on this play or not, but it's one he would clearly want back. A smart play by Kapanen through the defenseman's legs. So I know firsthand that you can lose sight of that puck quite easily. And the fans again back up their goaltender by getting on their feet and chanting Abby. But it's one that comes through you, squeaks through you, so there's always something you could have done to maybe tighten it up a little bit.
Nico Kapanen will get credit for the goal. But Kapanen had a pretty big playoff series last season against Anaheim. Scored 3 goals in 6 games. He's on it again. Tamayo is checked. Took a shot at Forsberg. Tamayo and Forsberg go back and forth. Zubov is pressure.
See, they've been going at it all period long. Beginning, it was early, and I tell you, Forsberg drilled him against the boards, and there was a little hacking and whacking after that.
Kapanen from DeMaio and Newman at 13:30. And the Stars are on the board. Here's Zubov on his backhander. Just missed it wide. And Forsberg will get to it. Look out, there goes DeMaio right after him. And those two players continue to hook up. They're still involved, and that's the reason they're offside. DeMaio and Forsberg locked up.
Kapanen to score to make it a 3-1 game. Never a bad move here, especially when it's a 1-on-2. Right through the legs of Rob Blake, right through the arm, I think it was the arm of David Abisher before going in. After that, Rob DeMaio comes from left field and just takes out Peter Forsberg. Forsberg's dumping it, head down, and that's a good hit by DeMaio. And Forsberg was one that grabbed onto him afterwards. Fans here wanted to call on DeMaio. No way, that was a good play.
That was some long, tiring shift for those two players. Here's Bure putting on the show, side of the net. Backhander stopped by Abisher, and there's a penalty coming up. And the Stars are going to go back to the power play, trailing by 2 with 5:18 left.
5th power play of the game. And the reason there's calls against Colorado is because Dallas has put pressure on them.
Foot will go right back to the penalty box. This is game 1, Western Conference quarterfinal series between the 4-5 matchup. Colorado at 4, that's why they have the home ice. Dallas at 5. Foot cross-checking at 14:42. He's back in the box after about a 3-minute span. Keep in mind, after the last Foot penalty expired is when Kapanen scored to put Dallas on the board. Guerin shot. Stop. Loose puck. Colorado will clear.
The thing I don't like about a pop gun style offense like that, you've already got it into the zone. If you're not going to drive hard and get a better scoring chance, don't shoot it on the net. Because it's just one shot and out. There's no sustained momentum.
Here's Zubov. And that shot from Bure catches the glass. Guerin on it.
Nearly caught Morrow in the head.
Zubov will get the return feed. Here's Bure now. He and Zubov play catch along the blue line. Madonna's got it. Guerin in front providing the screen. Morrow there too. Bore's shot is stopped. Avalanche made the save. Crowd looking for a penalty, screaming for one, and won't get the call.
They've got a legitimate beef. Morrow had tangled up Rob Blake. Look out.
Modano snuck it through, and Morrow missed the net. Here's Guerin now for Morrow. Blake puts the big body into him. Back to the point. Zubov will settle things down. 25 left in the power play. Modano trying to go all the way across the ice. So difficult to do. And Blake just hammered Bure to the glass. Zubov, hard shot. Rebound. Stop. Blake was able to bail out his netminder again. And Morrow and Blake have words going back up the ice. 4 seconds left in the power play. And that'll do it. Morrow is hit there by Bubner. Bubner went way out of his way to get a piece of him. And the nastiness continues. Turnover, side of the net. We're 5-on-5 with 3:05 left in the third. Heino tried to get it in deep and get a change. Well, he got the change, but didn't get the puck in deep. It's offside of the Dallas blue line. As elbows are exchanged again. David Avalanche has a 2-goal lead to protect.
Peter Forsberg's got a goal in this game. His left winger, Alex Tanguay, after missing 11 games with a sprained knee, getting drilled in the first period by Morrow. He's got a goal in this game. We might as well throw Joe Sakic in there, too, for the Colorado Avalanche, as the big boys have come to play.
Dallas has certainly had their chances to get back in this game in the third period. 2:45 left. They trail by 2, and Avalanche will glove that and then put it in the face of Steve Ott. NHL tonight coming up just as soon as we are through. Shots are 27-4 in favor of Dallas, and yet the Stars still trail by 2. Numbers provided by Ben Boma, doing slightly more than reading the shots on goal clock tonight for us. It is the postseason. There are the numbers Ben just gave us. Ben's birthday tomorrow, so wish Ben shots on goal clock.
Happy
Boma
birthday, Ben.
a happy birthday. It's a battle behind the net. Foots without his helmet. Lee Boucher's got the puck. Two-line pass, that was obvious, and then Gratton puts a shoulder in the Ott.
This is where little messages are sent to continue what should be a long series in the opening round. You've got to play with an edge. You've got to be smart. You've got to be disciplined when it comes down to it. You've got to not take retaliatory penalties, but you've got to initiate.
Initiate, not retaliate. Right? You can see how that can confuse results.
If you don't initiate contact, then it means you're on your heels. You're getting hit already. See how long it takes for Dave Tippett, who's along with Andy Murray, of course, the LA Kings head coach, is very quick at getting the goalie out, getting an extra man out there, surprising the opposition when you're behind. And of course, Tippett worked with Andy Murray for 3 years.
Here's Lettinen now off the outside, and Avalanche not going to take a chance. He'll hang on. 1:58 left. Pushes and shoves being exchanged. I think you're on more of the same. That time of year, Stanley Cup playoff time. Game 1 of that Western Conference quarterfinal series in San Jose. The Blues will be in town to take on the Sharks tomorrow, 10 Eastern, 7 Pacific on ESPN. Stanley Cup playoffs presented by Nextel on ESPN.
Well, I just saw Dave Tippett motion over to Marty Turco, put one finger up. So a minute 58 left in this game. Look for Turco to head to that bench.
Here's Morrow for Zubov's shot. It was there. Avalanche the save. Here's Colorado. Hall. Out with Barnaby. Slow down. Developing 2-on-1 to stay onside. But of course, bottom line, it prevents Turco from leaving the net. Minute 33. Turco's thinking about it. He's halfway. And now he's got to retreat as Zubov retreats. Extra attacker on. How many extra attackers are on?
Dallas had 7 guys on the ice.
They might have gotten away with one there in a game which has already seen too many men on the ice penalties. The Stars just caught another break. Trailing by 2. Final minute. Side of the net. Glove save by Avalanche on Bill Garrett.
As he gives it to Patty Wall, it's in the net. I'm going to show the hockey world where it is. Billy Guerin comes out of the corner. There's an empty net now. And Avalanche, in a slightly unorthodox way, because your glove's not supposed to be on the ice, but it is. And he makes the save, scooping it up, and making sure that Dallas is aware, the referees are aware that that's where the puck is. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 guys on the ice again for Dallas as they get sent to the face-off. 36 saves for Avalanche.
Neither club has their timeout left. 62 seconds left in regulation. Here's Zubov off another clean face-off. Trickles nearly in. It was deflected out of midair and down on the ice and just wide to Avalanche's left. Blake will get to it and shoot it all the way down. O'Donnell will back to the chase. Icing is called. Ray Scapanello blows the whistle. In his 31st playoff year, the veteran linesman right there, Ray Scapanello. He's never missed a game. He'll retire at the end of the year.
This game's over and done with. Alex Tanguay will be a big part of it. Taking that hit early, scoring the goal, making it 2-0. Showed a lot of gumption, didn't he? Getting drilled like that and hurting.
Offside by Scapanello makes that call. Guerin was just flat out muscled off that faceoff. And that led to Colorado getting it out of the zone. 39.7 seconds left.
Good job talking about Ray Scapanello. I mean, what a great linesman, a great person that he has been. And on that offside call, there he is on his knees, looking at it, almost a magnifying glass, making sure it's an important part of the game, obviously, and he makes the call. And he's never missed a game. 4 consecutive games, and Cal Ripken over 2,500 and the playoffs for the little guy.
Net is empty for Dallas. Again, keep in mind they trail by 2, not 1. Here's Foot off the glass, out of the zone.
Always a safe play.
Zubov for Bure. Matthew Barnaby on the ice, protecting a 2-goal lead for Colorado. And Chris Gratton is playing a strong game for the Avs. Avalanche out. Shoots it around. Morrow trying to do something with it. Madonna, the turnaround shot. He missed the mark. And flashed his frustration after he missed the net. 5 seconds left. Icing called. This one is all over but the crying. 3 seconds left. And a face-off team at the Colorado end. And the Stars trailing by a pair.
From day 1 on that great season series this season that ESPN is doing in conjunction with NHL Productions, Tony Granato stressed, think long haul, think the playoffs, think 7-game series. Right now, this is a great start here for the Colorado Avalanche on home ice.
Another shot Dallas gets off the face-off. One last check, maybe 2 last checks, and the horn sounds. David Avalanche is the first goaltender other than Patrick Roy to start a playoff game since the Avalanche moved to Colorado, and he is successful. Aided by Forsberg, and Tanguay, and Sakic. 3-1 the Avs draw first blood in this best-of-7 series.
Don't forget the great work by Chris Gratton, who primarily in this game went head-to-head with Madonna and did a great job.
Our final score again from Colorado. The Avalanche defeat the Stars behind David Avalanche 3-1. Dallas had 30 of the final 34 shots in the game, and they still lose by 2. Tomorrow night, the Stanley Cup playoffs continue at 10 Eastern on ESPN. It's the Blues and Sharks opening up their series. This game has been a presentation of ESPN, the worldwide leader in sports. For more, log on to ESPN.com. Darren Pang, this is